Do you control your emotions, or do they control you? Have you ever wondered why some of the smartest people you know crumble under emotional pressure? A top executive breaks down after a sharp criticism. A brilliant student spirals into anxiety before an exam. A calm friend suddenly explodes in rage. Intelligence alone doesn't protect us from emotional chaos. And here's the truth: emotional intelligence isn't just about knowing your feelings. It's about mastering your response to them. Welcome to True Stoic Mindset. We live in an age of constant emotional stimulation. Social media outrage, toxic comparison, passive-aggressive messages, endless to-do lists. You might think you're in control, until one text ruins your whole day. So ask yourself, are you directing your emotional state? Or are you just reacting to the world? Most people think emotional intelligence is about saying, "I know I'm angry." But that's just level 1. True strength begins when you no longer become the emotion. When anger arises, but you don't turn into it. When fear knocks, but you don't obey it. Imagine your mind as a ship. Emotions are waves. At first, you're tossed around without knowing why. Then you learn to brace yourself. But only when you rise above the storm. When you become the captain, not the passenger, do you begin to live with real power. This video isn't about tips and tricks. It's about the truth no one tells you. The final level of emotional intelligence. Where you stop fighting emotions and start transcending them. Because life doesn't break you. Your reaction to life does. And when you master your inner world, nothing outside can truly shake you. The 3 hidden levels of emotional intelligence. Most people think emotional intelligence means being in touch with your feelings. They believe naming your emotions is enough. But that's only the surface. There are 3 levels of emotional intelligence. Each deeper. Each more powerful. And only a few ever reach the final one. Let's break them down. Level 1: Self-awareness. This is where most emotional intelligence training stops. At this stage, you begin to notice your feelings. You can say, "I feel angry right now. I'm anxious because of this meeting. I'm sad, but I don't know why." Awareness is essential. You're no longer a slave to unconscious emotion. But at this level, your feelings still control your mood. You can name the fire, but it still burns you. It's like watching dark clouds and knowing it's going to rain. But you're still getting soaked. Level 2: Self-regulation. This is where emotional maturity begins. Now you can pause. You don't snap back when someone disrespects you. You don't lash out when you're frustrated. You've learned to delay reaction, to respond, not react. Here, you're no longer drowning in emotions. You're learning to swim through them. But there's a hidden danger. Many stop here, thinking this is the final level. They become emotionally composed on the outside. But inside, they're still boiling. The storm didn't go away. They just learned to smile through it. This isn't peace. It's performance. Level 3: Emotional transcendence. This is where Stoicism begins. And it changes everything. At this level, emotions still appear, but you don't identify with them. You don't suppress them. You don't act them out. You witness them. A thought arises. This isn't fair. A feeling stirs. I'm hurt. But instead of merging with it, you see it as it is. A passing weather pattern in the sky of your mind. You become the observer, not the reactor. You are no longer pushed, pulled, or shaped by your emotions. You are free. This is what Marcus Aurelius practiced in battle. What Epictetus taught through pain. And what modern life desperately needs. Not just to survive emotional chaos, but to stand still in the middle of it. What is level 3, emotional transcendence? Imagine you're standing in the middle of a storm. Wind howling. Rain slapping your face. But you are calm. Not numb. Not dissociated. Just undisturbed. This is emotional transcendence. It's not about suppression. It's not about pretending. It's about realizing, deeply, that you are not your emotions. Anger may arise. But you don't become an angry person. Fear may whisper. But you don't let it steer the wheel. You see it. You breathe. You stay. Unshaken. This is the highest form of emotional intelligence. Not because it makes you stronger, but because it makes you lighter. You stop clinging. You stop resisting. You stop performing emotional roles. You become the stillness beneath the wave. Let's make this real. Someone insults you. At level 1, you notice the sting. At level 2, you control your reaction. At level 3, you don't need to react. Because the insult doesn't enter. You see it. You understand it's not yours. And it dissolves. You remain grounded. Not because you force yourself to stay cool, but because you know who you are. Their words cannot reach that place. This is the Stoic power Marcus Aurelius wrote about. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. It's not coldness. It's clarity. It's the ability to feel, without drowning. To sense, without spiraling. It's the end of the inner tug-of-war. And the beginning of true self-command. Level 3 is not easy. But once you taste it, even for a moment, you will never see emotions the same again. Because you'll realize, you don't need to win every emotional battle when you're no longer fighting. Why most people never reach level 3? If level 3 is so liberating, why do so few people get there? The truth is, most of us are trained to do the exact opposite. From childhood, we're taught to control emotions. Don't cry. Calm down. Be polite. We learn to package our feelings. Not to understand them, but to make them socially acceptable. And so, we become emotional actors. Smiling through tension. Saying, I'm fine, while breaking inside. Convincing ourselves we're okay. Until one moment of pressure breaks the mask. This isn't mastery. It's emotional suppression. Modern society reinforces this illusion. It tells you, be productive, be strong, be positive. But underneath that pressure, there's no room to actually witness your emotions. So people either explode, or they implode. Some become slaves to emotional outbursts. Others live numb, robotic lives cut off from feeling. Both are trapped. Neither are free. Another reason we don't reach level 3. We believe emotions are truth. If I feel hurt, then someone must have wronged me. If I feel anxious, something bad must be coming. We mistake the voice of emotion as reality itself. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. Feelings are not facts. Emotions are real. But they're not always right. Until you learn to see emotions as waves, not commands, you'll always obey their pull. And perhaps the deepest reason of all, we fear silence. Level 3 requires stillness. To sit with discomfort. To observe pain without distraction. But we run into noise, phones, work, food, validation. We run because the quiet terrifies us. But in that quiet, in that sacred space between feeling and reaction, freedom waits. Most people won't reach level 3. Not because they can't, but because they won't sit still long enough to see what's truly inside them. And that's why emotional transcendence isn't common. It's not popular. It's not easy. But it's real. And once you taste it, nothing else will satisfy. Signs you're reaching level 3. You won't get a trophy. No one will applaud. But something inside you shifts. You begin to notice silence between the emotion and your response. You don't react, you witness. Here are the signs. 1. You feel emotions, but don't become them. Anger arises, but you don't lash out. Sadness visits, but you don't collapse into despair. You feel it fully, without needing to act it out. This doesn't mean you're cold. It means you've stopped fighting and started observing. 2. Insults don't define you. Someone calls you a failure. Instead of defending, overthinking, or collapsing, you pause. You consider if it's true. And you let it go. The attack lands, but doesn't pierce. 3. You don't chase feeling better, you choose clarity. You're okay with being uncomfortable. You don't need quick relief. You sit with anxiety. You let grief breathe. You've learned. Not every storm needs a solution. Some just need space. 4. You can hold opposing emotions without losing yourself. You feel hurt, but grateful. You feel scared, but calm. You no longer seek emotional purity. You embrace complexity with grace. 5. You no longer take everything personally. You see that people project their own wounds. You respond with understanding, not ego. You don't carry every emotional flame handed to you. You simply say, "Not mine to hold." These signs don't make you superhuman. They make you free. And once you begin living like this, you'll realize the real flex isn't emotional control. It's emotional peace. How to train emotional transcendence, the Stoic way. Emotional transcendence is not a gift. It's a discipline. And like any discipline, it can be trained. The Stoics didn't wait for peace to arrive. They prepared for it. They practiced it. Daily. Here's how you can too. 1. Morning reflection, anticipate adversity. Each morning, the Stoics imagine the worst that could happen. Not to become pessimistic, but to become unshakable. Marcus Aurelius would write, "Today you will meet people who are selfish, ignorant, rude." So when it happened, he was ready. Not reactive. Start your day by asking, "What challenges might I face today? And how will I choose to respond?" This isn't negativity. It's emotional armor. 2. Negative visualization. Train your detachment. Imagine losing your job. Being betrayed. Losing someone you love. It sounds harsh. But when done intentionally, it sharpens your perspective. You realize, if I lost this, would I still be me? This practice builds inner space between you and what you cling to. And when real loss comes, you're not broken. You're prepared. 3. Daily journaling. Witness your mind. Each night, sit down and write. What emotion did I feel strongly today? Why did it arise? Did I respond, or did I react? This is not a diary. It's a mirror. It teaches you to observe yourself. And in that observation, you begin to transcend. 4. Emotional separation. Language shapes freedom. Don't say, "I'm angry." Say, "There is anger in me." This simple shift in language creates distance. You are not your emotion, you are the witness. It sounds subtle, but it changes everything. 5. The Stoic filter. What's in my control? Any time you feel overwhelmed, ask, is this within my control? If yes, take action. If no, let it go. This question cuts through emotional chaos like a sword. It reminds you, Your power begins where your control begins, and ends where it doesn't. These practices are simple, but not easy. They require presence, courage, consistency. But over time, they change the way you move through the world. You stop flinching at discomfort. You stop being ruled by moods. You begin to lead yourself, calmly, clearly, and consciously. That's Stoic strength. And it's available to anyone who trains for it. Final reflection: true emotional strength is detachment. There's a place inside you that no insult can enter, no chaos can disturb, no fear can control. It's not built on affirmations. It's not built by pretending everything's okay. It's built through detachment. Not coldness, but clarity. The kind of clarity that watches emotion arise and lets it pass, without chasing, without resisting. Picture this. You're in the middle of life's storm, but inside there's calm. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You stopped needing to react. You stopped letting every emotion define you. You started choosing stillness. That's what emotional transcendence is. That's what makes you truly unshakable. If something in you resonated, if this felt like the truth you've been waiting to hear, then this is the beginning of your journey. Subscribe to True Stoic Mindset for more content that strengthens your inner world. And if this message spoke to you, like it, share it, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a moment of clarity. Finally, if there's a topic you want us to explore, something you've been struggling with, or quietly wondering about, drop it in the comments. We read every one. Because this isn't just a channel. It's a space for becoming. A space to remember who you truly are.